Remove and discard the two security screws next to the lightning connector. Place the iPhone in the universal display removal fixture. Position the upper suction cup close to the bottom of the display, but not over the edge. Adjust the lower suction cup to match the position of the upper one. Place the fixture with the iPhone on a flat ESD-safe surface. Press and hold the release button. Move the lever down to secure the suction cups. Lock the suction cups in position. Press and hold the release button. Gently separate the metal bars until resistance is felt. Don't use excessive force. Turn the knob on the adapter until the display begins to separate from the enclosure. Insert the display adhesive cutter on the bottom of the phone between the display and the enclosure. Holding the tool perpendicular to the edge of the display, slide it along one side of the enclosure to release the display. Roll the tool back and forth until it moves with no resistance. Starting at the bottom on the other side, roll the tool between the display and the enclosure until the display releases completely. Be careful when cutting the right side. Cutting too deep may damage the display cables inside. Unlock the suction cups. Pull the tabs on the front suction cups to release the iPhone. Remove the iPhone from the fixture. Place it on a flat surface. Tilt the bottom of the display up and pull toward the bottom of the phone as you cut the adhesive on the top of the phone. Don't lift the display more than 5 degrees to avoid damaging the display flexes inside. Insert the display adhesive cutter near the top of the display. Cut between the display and the enclosure while gently pulling the display away from the top edge of the enclosure. As the top of the display releases, gently pull the display just enough to release the display clips on the top of the display. Place the iPhone in the repair tray. Gently lift and tilt the display open to the right. Pressing along the edges of the display, secure it to the suction cups. Always handle the display assembly by the edges. Don't press on the backplate. It could easily damage 3D touch functionality and image quality. Use the iPhone torque driver and microsticks bit to remove and discard the 5 screws on the display cowling. Remove the cowling. Save it for reuse. Use a black stick to disconnect the battery from the logic board. Use a black stick to disconnect the 2 stacked display flexes. Use a black stick to disconnect the upper display flex. Gently lift the upper display flex from the adhesive on the enclosure. Holding the display by the edges, remove the display assembly and suction cups together. Remove the iPhone from the repair tray and place it on a clean, flat surface. Use a black stick to remove the adhesive around the display and enclosure. Don't clean the adhesive off the black stick. It helps lift any remaining adhesive from the enclosure and display. Be careful not to touch the grounding pads on the lower cowling. When removing the adhesive on the display, dab at the adhesive to help pull it up. Avoid scraping or pressing on the back of the display. As you clean the enclosure, be very careful around the TrueDepth camera. Avoid touching it. Fingerprints or oil from your hands may damage the lens. Clean the enclosure thoroughly with an IPA wipe to ensure a proper seal during reassembly. With the tab on the bottom left, align the display adhesive with the enclosure. Starting at the bottom edge of the enclosure, slowly remove the bottom release liner while pressing the adhesive into the enclosure. If the adhesive is not properly aligned, remove it and repeat the process with a new display adhesive. Check that the adhesive is positioned on the shelf of the enclosure. Use a black stick to adhere the display adhesive to the enclosure. Press lightly on the entire perimeter of the phone. Be careful not to press on the camera or the grounding pads. Use tweezers to separate the center piece of the liner. Starting at the center section, use tweezers to remove the 4 pieces of the top release liner. Place the iPhone in the repair tray. Align the display with the enclosure and gently press the edges to secure it to the suction cups. Seat the upper display flex into the channel between the logic board and the battery. Connect the upper display flex. Press down gently, applying even pressure along the entire length of the connector to ensure proper seating. Connect the stack lower flex connectors. Press down gently, applying even pressure along the entire length of each connector. Connect the battery to the logic board. Verify that all the flex connectors are fully seated. Install the battery display cowling. Verify that the upper display flex is in the channel and not obstructing the screw hole. Use the black torque driver and microsticks bit to install 5 new screws to secure the battery cowling. Use tweezers to remove the remaining release liners. Beginning near the camera, remove it in a counterclockwise direction. Beginning near the bottom of the camera, remove the second piece of the liner in a counterclockwise direction. Starting near the display flexes, remove the remaining piece of the liner in a clockwise direction. Inspect the display adhesive to make sure it is in the correct position and not damaged or wrinkled. Loosen the display by pulling the tab on the suction cups. Remove the suction cups. Gently tilt the display down. Ensure the display flexes are not trapped between the display and enclosure. Position the top of the display over the enclosure and lower it straight down. Gently press the 4 corners so the display clicks into place and fits flush with the enclosure. Place the phone and tray in the display press. Align the holes in the tray with the pins on the fixture. Lower the lever until the press locks. Wait until the press timer beeps. Push the lever slightly down and pull the knob on the locking pin. Raise the lever. Remove the iPhone and repair tray from the fixture. Remove the iPhone from the repair tray. Ensure that the adhesive has not leaked out between the enclosure and the display. If the adhesive has leaked out, repeat the process with a new display adhesive. Install 2 new security screws.